All right, guys, so as you can tell by the title of the video, we're going to be talking about James Yeager today. Now, I want to preface this entire video by saying I do not know James Yeager. I've never met James Yeager. I've never even talked to James Yeager. Never been to one of his classes. I don't watch his videos, just not my particular flavor of content, if you will. And I know he's been a big, strong, loud voice on YouTube for the Second Amendment, and I'm not going to disparage him on any of those things. Okay? I'm not basing what I say in this video on anything that he's done in the past, only what he has just recently done and said, to be more precise. And this, of course, is in regard to the statement that the NRA made about bump fire stocks, where they basically came out and said, yeah, bump fire stocks should be regulated. The ATF needs to take another look at them, and they should probably do something about that. Now, obviously, to people like myself who are NRA members who pay the NRA a yearly fee to defend our rights the way that we see fit, when we see something like that where the NRA gives something to the anti-gunners, we get upset and we question their motives. And of course, some of the speculation has been that, you know, either they were just being stupid and they thought that if they gave a little bit here that the anti-gunners wouldn't try and enact any new legislation or anything like that, or they were doing it with malice. In other words, they were intentionally trying to do something, knowing that it could come back and bite gun owners, people who care about their Second Amendment rights, in the ass, but they didn't care because it made them look good, because they've been so vilified in the media ever since the Vegas shooting. I mean, I think they've literally been called Satan. You know, people have literally said things like, oh, they want to go into people's houses and shoot babies with AR-15s. That's how evil the NRA is, you know. And so speculation, of course, is, well, if they give them bump fire stocks, it makes them look better, and maybe they won't be as vilified as much. So it was a little more, it was a little more self-serving for the NRA than it was really trying to do anything to defend our rights. So people are questioning the motives of the NRA. And James Yeager came out and did a video a few days ago. I think it was a video. I can't really remember what it was. Maybe it was a Facebook post or something like that. I don't know. Like I said, I don't really watch his stuff. But he basically came out and defended what the NRA is doing. Now, understand that James Yeager gets paid by the NRA, or at least he gets some form of compensation from the NRA. He's somehow sponsored by them. I don't know the exact terms. I think this is pretty common knowledge among, the YouTube gun community, but he gets something from the NRA. He gets trips to shoots and different shows and that kind of thing. I don't know if he actually gets cash from them, but he gets compensated by the NRA in some way, shape, or form. And so he came out and defended them and basically, said something along the lines of, well, they're 10 steps ahead of everybody else. And I heard some quotes basically saying something like, oh, well, they're playing chess while everybody else is playing checkers. Like they know what they're doing. They're fighting for our rights. Now, I think this is a stupid line of thought. I think this is absolutely indefensible because the NRA, above anybody else, above any other organization, should know better than to give anything to the anti-gunners. You give them an inch, they take a mile. You give them bump fire stocks to the ATF, they're still going to go after everything else. That's how they work. The NRA has been in the middle of this fight for decades and decades and decades. They should know this. They've dealt with Feinstein and Pelosi and Bloomberg and all these people for years and years and years. Okay, so I don't think they're stupid enough to do this. I think it was to try and make themselves look good. They figured, we'll give them this, we'll look good, people will stop calling us evil Satan, and we'll move on. And I think it was more about that and less about defending our rights. That's my personal opinion. But James Yeager seems to think differently. Now, whether that's because he really thinks the NRA knows what they're doing, or he's thinking with his pocketbook and the compensation he gets from the NRA, I don't know, and I'm not going to speculate on that, okay? And if it had just been that first video, I would have been like, yeah, I think he's wrong. I think he may be getting influenced a little bit by the NRA, but whatever. But then he comes out with a second video after this new bill, this new House bill that comes out that wants to ban anything that can increase the rate of fire on a semi-automatic rifle. By the way, we're going to do a whole separate video on that because that is a horrible, horrible infringement on our rights. There's a lot of implications and consequences to that. That's not going to be talked about in this video. In fact, you've probably already seen tons of videos about it, and I hope everybody makes videos about that because this is a big fight we've got coming, and we need to stand up and fight for that. That bill is evil incarnate. It is anti-American, anti-Second Amendment. So stay tuned in for more on that. But after this bill was introduced and we all got to see the text and what it means, James Yeager then comes out and makes a second video. Now, if it hadn't been for the second video, I wouldn't be making this video. But he actually comes out and starts to insult people, calling them fucking idiots, saying we're the ones that are traitors. We're the ones that are infringing on our own rights because we dared to question the NRA. The NRA, who we pay to defend our rights. And if they do something that we don't agree with, all of a sudden we're infringing on our own rights, or we're fucking idiots because we dared to question the NRA, or we dared to question your defense of the NRA. You see, that's where I have a problem, Mr. Yeager. You know, you can have your own opinions. You can be influenced by, you know, the NRA paying you a little money or sending you on trips or whatever it is they're doing, and that's fine. And again, I wouldn't have said anything had it been that. I'll disagree with you respectfully, but I wouldn't have said anything. But then you start to insult people like me, who pays the NRA to pay your ass to get to go on trips and do whatever it is. I have the right to question the NRA, and because you are compensated by the NRA, I have the right to question your ass as well. So why don't you sit down, shut up, go shave your head some more so people won't know that you look like Larry from the Three Stooges when you let your hair grow out, and go fuck yourself, asshole.